Hello again. 13 days. Getting even more real now. So, less than 2 weeks' time, I'll have done Hyrox 1 and be in the middle zone between doing Hyrox 2. So, I want to talk farmer's carry today. I said in a recent video that I think sled pull and sled push are two of the kind of easier stations. Whether that's controversial or not, I don't know. Farmer's carry on paper is easy. And I think, it is an easier station. However, there is a big caveat to that. And again, this is partly comes to where it comes within Hyrox, where it comes within in the stations. And my experience, certainly in the last few sims when we've been doing it. Now, we practice, as with anything, we practice long and we practice heavy. So typically we're practicing farmer's carry with 32 kilo weights as opposed to the 24 kilos that we'll be using on the day. And we will do, a combination workout of doing that and sled pushes and other things for 3/4 of an hour, whatever, with lots of other movements in doing it compromised and doing 3, 4, 5 times the distance that we do at Hyrox. So again, that all kind of helps, but again, it comes down to core strength, to carrying, it's legs, it's traps, it's arms, it's all of those things. So again, your general training that you do will all support farmer's carry. But the reason why it is kind of easy, but why I still would say that the sled push and pull are easier, because it's been an interesting shift in the last few kind of sims and certainly over the last couple of months in the training, when we did train with the actual weights, because we're so used to kind of training with the other ones, is really running with them. And I saw a video pop up the other day, someone who just recently competed in Hyrox, that said, and the caption was, when you thought the farmer's carry had a rest in it. And that's one of the key things, because it's generally a winding track that you start finish. Obviously put the kettlebells down and your partner goes behind you. But whereas the other stations like the ski, the row, the sled, a lot of the other stations, you are physically standing still and resting when you are not, kind of moving. Even the burpees to a degree, because you're walking behind. Farmer's carry is typically, and what we're finding in the sims now, we are running at quite a pace. And I tend to do this kind of strange little bent leg run to kind of, I don't know why, it just feels the most natural when I've got the kettlebells in hand. And literally it's a non-stop station. So whoever one of us picks up the kettlebells first, goes for it. The other one is running behind them, and not flat out running, but pretty fast paced, because you're not walking them, you are running these. And so it's one of the stations that if both of you are really kind of on it, you come in off the run hot, you go straight into the station, you just literally, you slow down just enough to pick up the kettlebells and you just carry on running. You put the kettlebells down and you carry on running. So it's almost like, to me, it's those 2 1-kilometer runs, basically it becomes a 2.2 kilometer run. You just happen to have some weights in between. And I think that gives you the best time. But as it sounds in my mind even saying it, is that is much more energy zapping, because all of a sudden it's not a kilometer, then with a bit of a station you get a bit of rest. This is kind of non-stop. It's much more like the singles, because okay, you're not carrying the weights, but again, if you've done the training, the 24 kilos isn't particularly heavy. So the difference between running with and without them, obviously it is going to be heavier with them, but not significantly. Not with the 32s you can really feel them. You go heavier than that, you can really feel them. So on paper it's an easy one, anyone can do it. You practiced it lots, and it's not difficult. But I think if you're going for it as in the race, it just becomes this non-stop run. And I think that's where it becomes, kind of difficult, because it feels easy to go full out for it, but you've got to remember you've just come off a run, you're just about to go into the next run. And that's where I think that you can start to get that cumulative effect of kind of wearing you down a bit. So again, there's nothing specific technical about it. Rule-wise, it's quite easy. I think they've tweaked it so that you have to return them into the right place and the right way up and things like that. And your partner runs behind you, and when you're done, you put them down. You stand aside. Your partner picks them up, and they go for it. So it's a very easy one from the rules and regulations and everything else. But done at pace, I think it can be one that can potentially catch people out. Obviously, if you're going to walk it and take it at a slower pace, then you will get a bit more of a rest, but there's still no standing still on it. You know, it's one of the few stations, you know, even at wall balls, one of you is literally resting, doing nothing while the other one is working. The same with ski, same with row, to a degree the same with both the sleds. Obviously, both with board jumps, your partner's walking behind you, so you're not, you know, completely standing still. But yeah, so it's one of those ones that on paper it's easy, but I think on race day, if you're really going to go for it, it's when you suddenly realize, God, I'm going to have to run to catch up with my partner. It's one of the things that a few of the people that we've trained with in the earlier sims, when their partner was going off doing the lunges and the farmer's carry, they were stood at the other end of the track going, oh, having a breather. And it's like, no, you've got to go with them. There is no, you know, on the day, there is no kind of standing, getting a breather. So it's just being aware of that. Again, on the lunges, you've got to follow them, but it's a slower pace, so you can catch your breath a little bit more. Whereas on the farmers, you know, there was very little to tell the difference between us coming off the track and then when we were doing the farmers. So it's one to be aware of and make sure you're strong, you've done those compromise runs, you've done the hard hit training so that you've got the energy, the cardiovascular to kind of push through that, because it's just kind of non-stop. So yeah, so that's farmers, and that's 13 days to Hyrox now. So yeah, it's getting close now. So got one more station to do, and then I'm going to be doing a slightly longer one about the running, my evolution across the running, and what I'm going to be doing on the day and pacing and things like that. So, but I hope you found this useful, and bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.